welcome to The Talk, the show where we have a topic and assign a random number to it. Sometimes it might be a straight 10 to 1, other times it might be a 7 or a 12, we never know. This week, since Legends of Tomorrow has had its season finale this year, I'm counting down my favourite characters from the show. I have to set out a few ground rules though. They have to be characters that are reoccurring, so no one-offs like Badass Grandpa Oliver Queen that we got, or any of the other characters that were in the 4-part crossover that we had this year. So, without further ado, let's jump in. And at number 7, we find ourselves with Firestorm. Both halves of the Firestorm Matrix make it onto the list, and not separately, since quite a lot of what the characters do, they do so together. What started off as a quite fractious pairing has developed into one of the key relationships of the show. Stein, the experienced, more cautious, and overall more proud of the pair, is balanced out by Jefferson's stubbornness and willingness to do the right thing. The best part about these characters is that no matter how dire or bad the situation is, they always have each other's back, and both care deeply about the other. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the season finale this year, where Future Jack was killed off and Stein had to watch his other half die, only to be reminded that it's not actually his other half. And that deeply affected him. You can see it in the moment. The show is better off for having these two around, and I don't want to imagine what it would be like without them. At number 6, we've got Ray Palmer. Ray got his start on the CW verse on Arrow, Season 3, as the man that takes Oliver's company, rebranded it, dated Felicity for a while, created an Iron Man type suit, and then seemingly was blown up in the season finale, only for it to be turned out that he was actually shrink to about the size of a biscuit for about 8 months, and he was held by Damien Dark. Ray is ever the optimist, lending a sense of childlike wonder to the situations that he finds himself in, and often acting as comic relief. In many ways, Ray is the heart of the team, and the show in general. What he lacks in fighting skills, he makes up for with his intelligence. Don't get me wrong, Ray certainly has his moments when he has saved the day, but he is at his best when he is a man of science. The man of science many fans grew to love all those years ago. At number 5, we've got Mick Rory, the Heatwave. Mick started off as the second banana to Captain Cold. To begin with, he revelled in violence, was only out for the money and riches, and often gave the impression he could turn on the team if offered enough money. He was even the antagonist Krios for a while, Time Master's brainwashed and trained bounty hunter. The one redeeming aspect of this character was his friendship and loyalty at first to Leonard Snart, and eventually to the rest of the team. Mick is often the butt of the jokes or has some of the funniest one-liners in the show, which makes him a comedic goldmine. The change that the character has gone through over the course of the series is only rivaled by one other character, and it's nice to see the character grow and develop in a way that is completely divergent to what they're doing with him in the comic books. At number 4, we've got Leonard Snart, Captain Cold. Snart, like Mick, only joined the team for the money, and prior to the show was known for being one of Barry Allen's most formidable opponents in his time as part of the Rogues. Over the course of the first series, however, he began to realize there's more to life than just thieving. He became a valued member of the team and grew to care about each of them so much that he sacrifices his life for the team so that they can escape the Time Masters in the Season 1 finale. But that's not all. Oh no, it's not. When the Reverse Flash pulled him out of the timeline to join the Legion of Doom, he became a threat that helped take the team apart. He killed Vixen and Future Mick, only ultimately to be defeated and have his mind erased and set back on the correct path to being a better man. Let's hope he comes back in the future as a hero suit. At number 3, we've got the Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. The Flash's greatest enemy made for one heck of a bad guy this season. Often the most powerful and smartest man in the room, Eobard is always one step ahead of everyone else. While doing despicable and undeniably evil things, he does so in such a way that you can't help but gravitate towards him. Unlike other villains, he's pragmatic. As you saw in the Apollo 13 episode this season, when faced with the option of working with Ray to live or to kill his enemy, Eobard chose to work with Ray until his usefulness was over. He's also the winner for the most what the fudge moment this season, when he brought back all his past selves to take on the Legends. With his death in the last episode, I had no doubt that we'll see this character again to surely wreak havoc on the timeline and the Flash. At number 2, we've got the Sara Lance, the White Canary. Sara has grown a lot since her introduction in Arrow Season 2. Being introduced as a member of the League of Assassins, she's gone from dead to alive like a yo-yo. Initially joining the team to atone for her sins as part of the League, she often came into conflict between what she was trained to do and what was the right thing to do. The character has had to deal with the bloodlust as a result of the Lazarus Pit, the death of her sister, and becoming the captain of the Wave Rider. The fact that it was her to ultimately save the day this season shows how much of the character has grown and changed. I can't help but wonder what direction this will take the character into now. Only time will tell. And at number 1, my favourite character on Legends of Tomorrow is Captain Rip Hunter. His story drove the first season more than anything to do with the Hawks. His desire to be reunited with his family, and the realization that ultimately, no matter how hard he tries, he never will, adds a much needed harshness to the first season. His absence earlier on this season was certainly felt, and when we finally did get him, we got him as a gloriously evil version of himself who reveled in taking the team apart and offered one heck of a threat to the team before he was ultimately redeemed. Him trying to find out where he fits into the new team dynamic and ultimately stepping down as captain was an interesting and needed for the show. I hope that we get to see Rip again, because I'd hate for him to be gone. Thanks for listening, guys, and if you like what we do here on the channel, give us a like, a share, and a subscribe if you haven't already, and we hope to see you all next week.